Hey, today on Deep Thoughts, we're going to be talking about marijuana. We're going to find out if you should partake or if you should
stay off the weed.
Hey, so I want to approach this from a biblical perspective, and it's super important to remember this is really just for people who want to understand what's in the Bible and who are trying to follow Jesus and trying to figure that out. If you're out there and you're not doing that and you don't really care what the Bible says, listen, this is no judgment towards you in any way, shape, or form. I'm not trying to give you a certain moral code that I feel like you got to live by. That's not it at all. This is just for people who have gotten to a place where I think the Bible might have answers, and I'm looking for those answers in the Bible. If you're a Christian out there, this might be really important for you to pay attention to. So, what does the Bible say about weed? Well, the Bible doesn't mention weed anywhere, but it does talk about getting drunk. Now, right off the bat, I know many of you are going, well, getting high and getting drunk, there's two different things. People that get drunk are like ragers and got serious addiction problems, and people are getting high, they're just like mellow, and it's not like super addictive like that. Well, they are different, I'll grant you that. But at the end of the day, they're similar in the way that matters the most. And when you get high or when you get drunk, what are you doing? You're self-medicating, you're escaping. That's the objective behind getting drunk. That's the objective from getting high. It's like, man, I've had a long week. I've had a stressful life. I got some issues going on, and I just want to take a break from life. Now, getting drunk, there's nothing wrong with there is something wrong with getting drunk. There's nothing wrong with drinking, and we know that there's nothing wrong with drinking because Jesus drank. The problem becomes when you abuse that and you start looking at that as, again, this way to escape, this way to get drunk, and that's when it becomes a problem. So in Ephesians 5:18, Paul says, do not get drunk on wine. Now he specifically mentions wine. I assume he means don't get drunk on beer, don't get drunk on vodka, don't get drunk on weed or high on weed. Don't use anything as a medium to escape reality, to self-medicate, to skip out on life for a minute. So I think it's very similar. Now, he doesn't say just don't get drunk because that's fun and God doesn't want you to have fun. He says don't get drunk, which leads to debauchery. I don't know if you know this, but people that get drunk, they have a few too many, and then they have a lot too many, and then they start making some really bad decisions. Same thing happens when you get high. All of a sudden, there's some moral issues. Maybe they're sexual or whatever it is. You start making decisions that aren't the best. Anytime that you start to lose a grip with reality, you start making some bad decisions. So I think the similarities between getting drunk and getting high are obvious enough that I'm thinking if you're really sincerely trying to figure out what the Bible says and you're trying to follow God, I don't think you're going to put getting high as something that you should be doing. Now, let me address this from a medical perspective also. A lot of people out there are saying, well, we use all kinds of different medication to treat ourselves, and marijuana is just another way to do that. Let me just be a little funny. Are we really using the opioid crisis in America as the example of why we should be able to smoke weed? We abuse medicated drugs like crazy, and just because a doctor prescribes it doesn't mean that we should be totally using it or abusing it all the time either. We have to pay attention. Anytime we're considering taking any kind of medication for any reason, and that's going to mess with who we are, or that's going to mess with us living in reality, we have to take that really seriously. So when it comes to drugs of any kind, when it comes to drinking and getting drunk, when it comes to getting high, I think we've got to just say no to drugs, kids. Hey, I hope you enjoyed that deeply profound thought by Grant Agler. Check out other deep thoughts that I've had. Subscribe to our channel. Also, if there's something you'd like to hear me pontificate on, I think that means talk about, go ahead and drop that in the comment sections. Love to hear about it.